we've played around with a whole bunch of different mediums. We've done, for different real estate projects, we've played around with radio, we've played around with print, we've done some TV for different projects as well. And you know, all of them have a role, but you know, we find radio, because you catch people in motion, has a very important and very significant role to play, especially when you want to drive people to an open house. And drive is the key word. They're driving, they're listening to radio mostly in their car, at least that's what I've found, and it's been a good tool for getting people to visit opens. With real estate, especially with developments, there's a lot of different developments out there, and you really need to catch people's interest. And the developments typically are heavy buyers of print. Like if you look at the home section, the Times Colonist on Saturday, there's 2 full home sections, and they're basically 3/4 advertising for different projects. And that has its role, because people know to look there for different things. But it's really hard to spend enough money to stand out. Where when I do radio, I found that as long as I was consistent, you know, and followed a good branding approach, over a period of time I could build greater awareness than I could by just using print. Because realistically, every development uses print. Very few actually use radio or use it effectively and consistently. And also the thing that's worked for me with the Q is I found that, for at least for the products that I'm selling, the Q's demographic works well. It's a fairly broad demographic. You know, it's not too niche oriented. Tends to be older a little bit, which works as well, because you know, we're getting the right type of people to come out to the developments. The nice thing about radio is it's got a lot of immediacy to it, and because I need people to drive to real estate, it works well in catching people and getting them to act now on something. Does it get them to pull their checkbook out and write a check? No, but that's not what I'm trying to get them to do with radio. I'm trying to create awareness and get them to come and visit us, put people in front of people, and then we take over on the traditional sales after that point. When I'm advertising on different projects, for example, for our houses that we're doing out in the Western communities, we're advertising on the Q, but we're always also on certain projects advertising on the Zone as well, because it drives a lot of the first-time buyers, which is great. Like that demographic on the Zone seems to be quite effective for us on first-time buyers. And one thing I like about the Q is it really is, for me, a single point of contact. And that's something that is great. If I have a question, a concern, if I need something, you know, I call my rep and they take care of everything. I don't have to talk to 20 different people in the organization, which I really appreciate, because time is, you know, is the most valuable commodity. So that's a great thing. And then the thing I like, by the way, is I've been advertising on the Q for probably, it must be, I don't know, probably close to 20 years, if not more now. I've had the same rep the whole time through, which has really been fantastic. So there's a good relationship there. Well, we do track how people go to our websites, and we can see a lot of different keyword searches being used, and some of this stuff we know we've only used these certain phrases in radio, so we know that people are definitely Googling things even while they're driving, because we see searches coming from mobile browsers as well. So we know it's driving traffic to the website, but I'd say the biggest thing for me on the projects is I'm using radio to, one, drive people to visit the open house, and also to position the product among all the other competing developments out there. The first thing is people have to, before they advertise on radio, they have to learn and understand what radio can give them and what it can't give them. There's no magic bullet in advertising anywhere. You can't run one commercial and expect to get results. Have to plan on being consistent and set realistic goals and a realistic budget for what you want to achieve. And what I have found, again, at least through the rep I deal with at the Q, they've played a role in helping me over the years, educate me on that, and also to tell me if I do have unrealistic expectations. So, you know, that's really important. There's a lot of learning involved, and it's just like any form of advertising. You've got to spend enough money to get the results. And that's probably the biggest message I would have for people. I see a lot of developers, especially in my field now, where they've got an open house for the weekend and launch, and they'll spend a bunch of money once, and they expect that to drive a bunch of traffic, and that's a real waste of money. You know, you really got to understand how radio works and use it well. Otherwise, you're trying to swim upstream and you're really wasting the money.